quick and dirty how to buy and resell vintage items for profit.
Right.
If, like a friend of mine, you're in between jobs.
It's like a side hustle or even.
That is a good way of putting it, because this is not one of those things where it's like, hey, in 3 minutes or less, I'll show you how to make 30K doing bad prints for designer t-shirts that are farmed out of a warehouse. Right. No, this is not that. This is an actual side hustle, which means you have to hustle to make that side money. There is some work involved.
There is.
But the nice thing about this is anyone really can do it. The majority of the work involved is watching videos like this, is being out there looking at the objects. So as I was saying, because so the majority of the time you spend is in learning how to identify the sorts of things you want to pick up in order to make the highest profit possible, which is actually kind of fun. You guys, we had no B-roll, so you're staring at, whatever I didn't manage to get listed today. But anyone can learn how to do it. That is very true. And the majority of the time you will spend is in developing your acumen and knowing what's of high quality, how old items are.
And that literally just takes time.
And what's desirable, what people actually want to buy as well. So in order to do that, you want to go with these 4 points.
Right.
Like I said, quick and dirty, you guys. You want to get 10% profit margin inventory. We'll go over what that means in a minute. Open your shop online, never a brick and mortar. Take goop pics. That's a typo, but I thought it was a memorable typo. It's good pictures, but now you won't forget about it. Take good pictures. You live and die by your pictures online. Yes. And fourth, list, sell, and ship all the things, all the inventory that you've built up over time. So let's get into what it means to make 10% profit margin inventory. 10% profit margin inventory. What do we mean by that? We mean you want to spend 10% of what you're able to resell the item for. So if you spend $1, you should be able to resell that item for $10.
Right.
If you spend $50, you should be able to resell that item for $500. And yes, very possible. If you spend $500, you should be able to resell that item for $5,000. Again, very possible.
It is.
Now, as I was saying before, this is the quick and dirty version. It really is for a friend and anyone else who finds it useful. I actually started my business, no joke, you guys, with some free stuff from a garage sale that didn't sell when a woman was leaving the state. So she was moving out of her house, leaving the state. Mm-hmm. She had a 3-week garage sale just trying to sell out everything in her house. Anything that didn't sell was left there. And the house was acquired by a contractor who then started gutting the house and everything that was left in the yard and throwing it in a dumpster. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
I literally started my business with, I think, something like 25 objects that were about to be thrown in a dumpster. Yeah. So it is possible to do it for free. It is possible to do it for $50 investment, buy $51 items, work your way up. It's like the paperclip trade-off, you can actually do that. You can also buy the right $50 item and sell it for $500, turn around and put that $500 right back into your business and, buy 10 more items. Mm-hmm. So this is achievable. It is achievable with a very small amount of inventory to start. It is achievable with a very small liquid funds to start. What you really need here is some time. Mm-hmm. Like I said, it really is a hustle. It is a bit of a grind.
Yeah.
But if you have time because you're searching for work or work from home or a million other reasons, this is a great way to start establishing your little online side business that you can return to anytime, even if you get a job.
Yeah.
So get a job. Like this is my full-time job. Like I have 3 online businesses, but they do well. So, but let's say you want to work like a desk, like a 9 to 5. You can still keep your little business that you've built and earn side income later. So it's a really helpful little thing. That being said, so to get back to that 10% profit margin rule, you are going to go buy things and you're never going to break this rule. And people, I get pushback for this. They go, oh, you can spend up, you can pay up a little bit here and there. Don't do that. Don't do that, because you are going to have losses along the way no matter what. So if you abide by the 10% when you're purchasing and do not deviate from that, your business will do okay, even to start, even when you're brand new. If you deviate, you will start deviating all the time. You will start paying up here and left and right and center. You will start, neglecting, the fact that sometimes you're going to have losses in shipping or breakage, or, things go wrong. So just stick by the rule. Don't do 20%. Don't do 30%. Don't think, oh, it's okay if I only make $4 or $5 on this item. That's not how you want to think. I've actually seen some very big reseller influencers go, I don't care that I don't make a lot of money on this. Well, you should. You should care. Your employees, if you have them, should care, because it affects them and their bottom line too. Exactly. Your time is valuable. If you do not understand that concept, you are not going to thrive in this business or in any business. Time is your biggest commodity. So, and any entrepreneur should be telling you something along those lines. When you're starting a business, time is money. So you want to always be sticking by that rule. Again, $1 should be able to sell it for 10. $50 pair of Nikes should be able to sell it for 500. You get the idea, right? Use a calculator if you have to. It's not impossible, but this is just an easy way to keep it in mind all the time. So while you're out there looking for things, don't overspend. Couple other fine points really quick I'm just going to toss in that I just thought of. Don't buy everything. You are having a good day if you went to 5 estate sales, 3 garage sales, 2 thrift stores, and only came away with 5 objects. That's a good day.
You don't feel like you have to get something at every stop.
You do not have to get something at every stop. I have seen so many people fall into the hoarder trap, because this is, what are you doing? What is your actual job? You're in procurement. Is a large part of what you're doing. You're procuring desirable items that other people are going to want to purchase because they don't have the time to go find them, or they don't know what to look for, or they're not in the state where that estate sale has that first edition Superman comic book or whatever, right? So procurement is a large part of what you're doing. And what that means is being a picky shopper. That's literally what you're doing. You're just being a picky shopper. You want the best things for the least amount of money all the time, no matter what. Don't start buying everything. Don't think you always have to buy something, like Will said. Don't start getting cheaper stuff because you can't find the better stuff and break the 10% rule. Don't do any of that. You will end up with piles of junk all over your home, your apartment. It just doesn't go well. People do fall into that trap. The other thing to keep aware of is be a picky shopper. Know when to pull the trigger. Be a shopper. So sometimes you'll see something, you'll be like, oh, I don't know, it's $20. I think it's worth $200, but it's $20. And then you don't pull that trigger, and then you just lost out on that sale. So don't do that either. Don't get to a place where you're such like an absconding person that you're never going to purchase anything, because you do need inventory. So you really are aiming, if anything, this job is about finding that middle ground, that perfect line, and then holding to it, even though you love shopping, right? Even though you don't want to spend money that day, right? You still have to hold that line. That's a big part of what your job is. But if you're good at that, and by the way, it's not that hard. You guys, I'm not kidding. Anyone can do this. Anyone can do this. I'm not kidding. I've made a full-time job out of this. A lot of people have. Let's move on. The other points on that slide will be addressed as we go through the video here. So those 10% profit margin items, I like to call them SaaS inventory. So you want small things that's easy to store and easy to ship. You do not want a storage unit full of huge items. You do not want your house hoarded into, you know what I mean? Just avoid that. You want small things. You want accessible, which means it's easy to find over and over and over again year round. And you want short tail that's easy to sell. Instead of long tail, what we mean, it's like an industry term. Short tail means it sells in 2 days, 2 weeks, instead of 2 months, 2 years would be a longer tail on an item. So these are the sorts of things you want to be looking for. I'm going to go over, I think, like 4 or 5 specific types of those things I want you to search for to start your business, because it's easy and it's simple and it fulfills all those criteria. However, when you're ready to expand a little bit, or if you're out in the wild searching for things, if something falls into that criteria, into my cute little acronym, That's the sort of object you want to be looking for.
Snap that up.
Snap it up. Light, small, easy to sell, accessible again and again. And we say accessible because also what we mean is easy to find and desirable. So something people are going to want to buy again and again. And that's actually important because you might find small valuable things or valuable things in general once in a while, but being able to find them again and again is your bread and butter and your ability to establish and maintain your business. Moving forward, art, a crash course, okay? I'm going to go over art. You guys, there's going to be like I said, 5 types of things. We're going to start with art. As I said earlier, this is quick and dirty. This is for a friend. I'm not going to talk to you about composition, lighting, the finer points of quality inside of oil painting brush strokes, what kind of pin nails you should be looking to decide the year factor on the age of the back of a frame. I'm not going to be doing that here. I do have some videos that are like that, and I will make more videos and I can go into those things. This is the quick and dirty version. I'm going to show you things that I've sold in my shop that fulfill the criteria, that are small, easily accessible, right? And you can ship them all day without damaging them. You're just going to put cardboard over them. I'll make a shipping video later for you guys, but it's not hard to ship art well. You put cardboard over the actual face of the painting or the piece of art, right? So that it doesn't get damaged. You make sure you put some extra padding around the corners. You bubble wrap the heck out of anything and you're going to be okay. Stick it in a cardboard box. It's not the end of the world. So art, a crash course. Here's what I want you to look for. Small oil paintings framed. That's it. That's it. Signed.
Older wood framed.
If you can find older wood frames, nicer wooden frames, if the pieces are clearly signed, these are the things you want to be looking for. I'm going to show a bunch of examples of stuff like that from my shop really quick. And again, I'm not saying every single thing you buy is going to be perfect, that it's going to be super valuable, but I'm saying as a crash course, as a quick, what can I just visually quickly learn how to search for right now without a lot of education behind me as to what these objects should be. This is what you want to look for. Signed, framed, small oil painting.
Yes.
Let's go to signed, framed, small oil paintings. The profit margin on them, especially if you do things like go to estate sales, is massive. So here's an example. Now, when you're looking at these, you guys don't focus so much on the values. These are all pieces I've sold from my shop. Look at the paintings themselves in the frames. Just let your mind kind of get an idea of what these sorts of landscapes look like.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're trying to establish an eye for what's desirable, what's of a somewhat better quality, and what's vintage.
And you'll get to where you can see it almost immediately.
Yeah.
You spot something on the wall, like, okay, that's the frame. You can see it, the oil frame, you can see the signature, and that's something desirable. So you don't even have to do a ton of research automatically. You just know that's something that's a good value.
You will get good at it, like Will said. The more you do it, the more you're looking at these objects, handling these objects, Google lensing these objects as you're running through a thrift store, you're going to get very good for spotting what's good. But in general, just let's say you've never done this before and you're horrible at it. You want to make sure it's not a print and an actual painting. You do that by getting close to the piece of art and seeing if it has actual paint material on a canvas or hardboard with brush strokes in it. You can tell. Trust me, you can tell. If you have bad eyesight, get a magnifying glass or a loop. But you can tell if there are brush strokes in that art. So you're going to know it's actual paint. Look for a signature. And if it's framed, you're good to go. That's really all you need. Even if stuff isn't super high quality, even if it has some age wear, like crackula going on, as long as you disclose that, people are still going to purchase these items. Some people prefer them that way. And sometimes antiques are always going to have that level of wear. So you don't want to pass up like a $2,000 piece because you thought it looked a little too damaged and old and dated. So pieces to look for: oceanscapes, seascapes, shorelines, nautical theming, lighthouses. Okay, did I say ocean enough? Like think seaside. Florals like still lifes, fruit, Like this piece here is a floral still life. Also landscapes, like that first one you saw was sort of a prairie type landscape. Winterscapes do really well. Nautical pieces like this clipper ship do really well. Look at the frame on this piece, you guys.
Pretty.
Beautiful frame. That frame is worth at least $60 without the painting inside of it. I could have sold this painting for more, but I think when I listed this one, and again, I bought this for $6 at an estate sale. I had a ton of art already stored up that needed to be listed, so I wanted it to move very quickly.
Right.
But I am telling you guys, these pieces are valuable and they will sell. Again, if you want them to sell faster, you can put them a bit lower. I would say avoid doing that. You're going to get your highest profit potential by being willing to want to see that full amount recognized.
Right.
And a person who knows what they're buying and what they're looking for in the quality of the piece is going to be willing to pay that amount every single time. This one looks a little more contemporary. I think this is the only acrylic one I included. I just included this to say, if you see really odd stuff out there in the wild too, like this seems strange, almost cartoonish, maybe take a closer look at that. Always look at the weird or odd objects as well. Not everything has to be an old nautical scene. You know what I mean? I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah. So there's certain artists that do certain series or themes like this that can be valuable.
Very valuable. So, and again, this one was very small. I got this from Goodwill for $3.99. And I sold it for $50. Okay, so well within that 10% rule. You guys, you have to remember with the 10% rule though to include things like your shipping and handling, packaging costs, your time you spent getting somewhere, your gas, stuff like that. You got to include that in that 10% margin. So if you're spending $1 on something, you do have to factor in, shipping materials, gas money, your time. You're not actually selling it for 10. You kind of usually, mine works out like on a $1 item to be more like $15.60. So think about that, keep that in mind, but still try to abide by the rule. That's just like a quick and dirty rule to get you going. This is a winterscape. Seasonal pieces do really well.
They do.
People, especially in retail, will swap out seasonal art. So they're constantly looking for it. Just another thing to think about. But again, landscapes, oceanscapes, still lives, these things do really well. I don't think I've ever had anything with water in it last for more than a month online. It goes fairly quick. And so people then go, well, I get pushback on this all the time when I'm talking to people. Well, you can't find these things. Yes, you can. Go to estate sales. You guys, if you've never been to an estate sale, there's a hidden world you don't know about. It's called death. It exists in North America. It exists everywhere. It's a part of life. And it's really well hidden here. And people are not aware that it's going on around them all the time, 24 hours a day. People are passing away. They are shedding their mortal coil. They are leaving all their material goods that they are no longer attached to behind. And these things are often sold at estate sales. Sometimes they don't have inheritors. Sometimes their inheritors don't care about them or their objects. Sometimes their inheritors love them and their objects, but are out of state and have a full-time job and can't be there to sell the items and just want them gone. So, there's a lot of reasons.
Absolutely.
So go to estate sales. Don't feel bad about going to them. The amount of people who have thanked me for leaving money behind at estate sales, it can really help with grief when you have money to help with things like funerals. So it's not a bad thing. And this one got pulled out of the bins. I'm talking about estate sales right now, but this piece was given to me for free as a joke by someone who pulled it out of the bins. Because I told him, don't just be looking for toys. You should look for things like oil paintings. And he was like, oh, even bad ones? I was like, any oil painting that's small. He pulled this out of the bins and mailed it to me with a toy that I bought. He gave the painting to me for free. And then I sold it for $180. And I told him, yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. He thought he was joking. And I said, that's exactly the sort of thing you should have been looking for. He didn't believe me. There you go. So that's what I'm talking about. And by the way, so not just estate sales. You can also find these things, like I said, in the bins, in Goodwills, garage sales, thrift stores of all kinds. I get a lot of pushback on that too. But this stuff is out there.
It is.
There we go. 15 framed oil paintings. $60 is what I spent on 15 framed oil paintings. $996 in sales. I netted $745.
That's pretty
well within the 10% rule. That's after subtracting things like my fees for the platform it was listed on, the shipping and packaging materials, the time it took me to get there, gas money, all that stuff. This is still what I'm making on $60 of investment. One avoids the pink taffy. And we're back. There's like no colored taffy left in the taffy bowl. I'm just saying. Now I can't eat this because we're talking. So what's our next object that I want you guys to be searching for? Here we go. Light, easy to ship, easy to store, easy to find, very accessible. This is a bread and butter item.
And overlooked by a lot of people.
Really overlooked by a lot of people, especially now with like tariffs and stuff in North America. Things like silk and just ties in general, even like polyester, they're costing, $50 from a store like Express when they're badly made. So you can be getting these items dirt cheap, reselling them, making a profit, and saving the buyer who's buying them money on a much better, higher quality item, and they're going to pay half as much as they would buying it new. I'm just kind of going on here. So as I was saying, not every single one is going to be $60 to $100 tie.
Right.
It doesn't matter because I'm buying them for $2 and selling them for $30, right? So it fulfills that 10% margin. These are bread and butter items. If you can find 10 of them at an estate sale, buy all 10. If you go to a Goodwill and somebody dumped a load of ties, go through all of them, buy as many as you can. Easy to store, very cheap, very easy to sell. They always move. Take a look at some of these. These are the things you want to look for, right? So you want 100% silk. It will say it on the tie. The tiny part of the tie, if you're not a man, not the big part, but the small end part, will have a little tag that says 100% silk if it's 100% silk. Also, you want to be looking for Disney does well. Most cartoons like Peanuts, Scooby-Doo, things of that nature do well.
Unique stuff.
Cartoon Network, stuff from the 90s.
Jerry Garcia ties.
Grateful Dead tie runs. Always, we sell through them so fast. And I find them everywhere. And they're fun and playful. And people really enjoy them. And they're somewhat collectible already. Even though some of them were made like as late as like 2008. Again, what is vintage? Vintage is 25 years or older, right? Versus antique, which we say is older than that. So, but these ties, you guys, I am buying $2 ties and I am making hundreds of dollars off of ties every month. And it's easy. You can find these anywhere.
One of the easiest things to ship.
It's such an easy thing to ship. Such an easy thing to ship. Look for designer names. Look for Disney. Look for things like Grateful Dead, specialty band items, stuff like that. Absolutely Harley Davidson. You kind of know. You get a feel for it. And you can look them up online as you go. And you can learn more. If it's silk, if it's in good condition. You guys, ties are like purses. I'm not going to talk about purses in this video. You don't want to start your business in purses. Trust me. Start in ties, but you do want to smell them. Some men wear colognes, some men smoke cigars, some women wear perfumes and smoke cigars who wear ties. So always be smelling these objects, okay? You want to make sure they don't have a scent, and you want to check them over for staining. It is really easy to clean silk, but just to start, I just want you buying clean objects because it's so much faster and simpler. I can do a how to clean silk ties later if you guys understood how many beautiful things I have salvaged from the ravages of time. But and valuable objects too, right? Oh, look at this beautiful vintage Gucci.
I know, that was a great one.
Look at the emblem on the back of that Gucci. That is a great embroidered logo on there. Anyway, smell them, look for stains, and as long as it's not fraying, you're good to go. Like you want the seams to be strong. You don't want to see threads, things that that's easy, right? You guys, this is easy. You're looking for signed, small, framed, oil paintings, silk, ties. Keep it in your head, right? That's the first two objects down. I am telling you, these things will make you money. If you are hard up for cash, if you need a side hustle. Oh, and stuff like this. I didn't even know who Josh Bach was, but stuff like little themed things.
Yeah.
So say like darts, paper airplanes. I think I recently sold a tie that had rowing oars for kayaks on it. Right. Specialty little
specific items, right?
Niche items.
You go on the internet to look for versus just a random like pretty looking tie that's not.
If it has a hummingbird on it, if it has golf balls on it, because somebody's gonna want that item because that's their passion, that's their hobby, and so those things tend to move pretty quickly. This was a beautiful piece as well. And again, you don't need to know the name Leonard Paris. You don't need to know Leonard Paris. You can just see that it's a silk tie sitting in a Goodwill. Check to see if it says silk. It's in good condition. And then you're now looking up the designer online and going, oh, look, this is a $40 to $50 piece. How much is it? It's $2.99. And again, you can find these and things in the bins, at thrift stores, at estate sales, all day and night. the amount of ties I get from estate sales, sometimes 10 for $1, okay? 15 silk ties, $40 total investment, 450 in sales. Moving on, pillows, a crash course. I'm gonna definitely hear comments about, you should be telling people to spend $40 to make $400 because it's a better time investment. Yes, it is. And by the way, that was like my worst pantomime voice. I don't know what that was. But yes, that is a better time investment. And you will do that later. I'm not saying don't do that. Don't come for me in the comments like, why are you teaching? These are bread and butter items that will get you going.
That are more frequently defined in the wild too.
Very easy to find in the wild, over and over again, desirable, easy to sell, easy to store. So the next one, and by the way, you can make quite a bit of money turning a $4 item into a $40 item, especially if you're doing it 40 times in a week. I'm just saying. So oddball items, like I said with the ties, like I said with the paintings, kind of odd things, right? So this was a Pier 1 piece. I didn't know that when I picked it up at an estate sale for $2. I just saw a lot of seed beads. I thought it was quirky and cute, snagged it. And those sorts of things do really well. Pier 1, Pottery Barn, Williams and Sonoma pieces quite often can look a little quirky. Some vintage pieces from there. Definitely grab those.
Yes, needlepoint.
And then here's the finer point of pillows, needlepoint. The tapestry looking, needlepoint looking, almost anything. If it's velvet backed, if it's in good condition, it doesn't even really need to be all that vintage, you guys. If stuff looks like this, like it has different little needlepoint points on it. I don't know, how do you describe that? Like it should have some texture to it. It's not just one flat print like an AI piece of art or a painted piece of art on fabric.
You can feel it.
And quirky. So what happens if you get a quirky piece that's also needlepoint? This happens. It becomes a $100 pillow. So why am I telling you to look for tapestry and needlepoint pillows? They are everywhere. They are everywhere. They are usually vintage. Most of them are in good condition because people cared about them. Again, check for stains, check for smells. But they are everywhere and they are always overlooked. I got this for $1. It was not selling at an estate sale. Nobody wanted it. They practically gave it away to me. And I knew when I saw it that it was going to be valuable. Most people don't know that. You now know that because you watched this video. Look for pillows. Vintage pillows. Even contemporary needlepoint pillows. They're valuable. Again, you can't buy these things new for less than $40. So if you can pick them up from estate sales, thrift stores, garage sales, do it. Okay, and they're light and they're easy to ship. They can't break. You shove them in a box. They're awesome for a first-time business vintage reseller as far as shipping goes. Jewelry, a crash course. Why am I telling you to buy jewelry? Okay, first of all, we have other videos on jewelry. Please, after you watch this, go at least look at the one on costume jewelry signatures. It's going to teach you a ton of stuff in 15 minutes so that you know what you're looking for when it comes to costume jewelry and what signatures to look for and how to find if a piece is authentic. Do that because jewelry is small. It is easy to store. And the profit margins are obscene when you find even half decent jewelry anywhere at a good price. So, and that video is going to help a lot when it comes to costume jewelry. Why am I talking about costume jewelry? Because as you can see, this is a 14 karat gold plated cubic zirconia. What does that mean? It is not gold. It is not silver. And it is not diamonds or sapphires. It is faux everything. And so is this piece. And this is what I'm saying. You can get a $2 brooch and flip it for $30. It's a beautiful piece and it's actually worth closer to $50. So everyone wins. They are small, they are easy to sell, and you do not need to know if it's real gold, real silver. If you're working in the world of costume jewelry, it doesn't matter if it's a finer precious metal. So you are not fighting with every other person in the store checking for fine metal marks. Now, I'm not saying don't look for fine metal marks on beautiful jewelry, right? I'm not saying if you see like this piece, right? If you see 925 to ignore that. But we have other videos on that. You can do research on that online. This is the quick and dirty. How do you start this business, right? If you come across a hoard of gold and silver, by all means, and someone's handing it to you for free or pennies on the dollar, grab it. But it's far more likely you will come across things that other people don't realize are somewhat valuable because They're costume jewelry pieces. Like this, it's a $9.50 instead of $9.25. So every single person that I bought this, I was at an auction, didn't know what that meant. They also didn't know what palladium meant. So they all just assumed it was fake and passed it up.
Exactly.
It's actually a beautiful fine metal piece, but people don't know that because they don't know enough about fine metal marks. And here's what I'm telling you, you don't need to. You could have looked at this piece and not known any of that and still known it was a valuable piece just based on our costume jewelry videos about what the clasps on a necklace like this should look like if it's a better quality. So you don't need to know all that. You don't have to look for those marks. You can do pretty well on things like abalone cufflinks, for instance. These cost me $2. I did get these at a Goodwill off a little hanging rack of jewelry. It was $2.50, $40 cufflink set. So again, small, easy to sell, and you go, well, how I wouldn't know that that's good. And Will was talking to me about this a minute ago. How do you know, Lex, when you walk up to something if you didn't know what you were doing? Well, you can start by going, hi, Google Lens, can you take a picture of this and tell me what you think it's worth? Can you find the exact same object for me? And if that doesn't work, or if it does work, you want more information, then start putting in information about it on, say, eBay comps. See what pops up there. Start looking around on sites like Etsy and Mercari and other businesses and see what they have similar pieces for. Now, if you do see designer names, absolutely buy those pieces, snag them up. I'm showing a lot of brooches here. People pass up brooches at estate sales all the time. I don't know why. They do really well. They sell really quickly. Some of them are very rare and very fine.
And they're small, easy to ship to the store.
I think because it's not like a pendant necklace with a massive diamond on it or a shiny ring, people think they're not valuable or something, or they're not as interested. But pins do really well. Costume jewelry does really well. So watch our other video on costume jewelry for sure, but just start looking for these sorts of things. You know, these are just stud earrings. They're not even all that old. They're not even that high of a designer level. But if I can buy them for $2 or $3 and sell them for $40, then absolutely. Like I would, this bangle is a great piece of costume jewelry. I would never wear this bangle. I don't think this bangle is particularly pretty. It has like tarantulas on it and stuff. It's like horoscopes or something. I don't remember. But again, if you can get it for $2, and I'm looking at it going, that's a half decent quality. No one else is buying it. It's probably worth $40. There you go, right? So I do want you looking for jewelry. I do want you looking for not fine jewelry to start. I don't need you investing a ton of money trying to learn all that all at once, maybe getting hoodwinked here and there. I want you starting in costume jewelry, something that's easier to pin down, easier to find, easier to sell quickly, that you're not going to invest a lot of money in. Because you can buy these pieces for $2 to $5 all day at places like St. Vincent de Paul or the American Cancer Society. You know, the thrift stores that are in your area always have beautiful costume jewelry, just tons of it that no one's ever looking at. These are great. Aren't these great?
They're great.
These are for shoes.
They're for shoes.
You would put them on the little lapel of your shoe.
Yeah.
But I just think they're so charming.
They're great.
I could never pull that off. I could never wear anything that would have that with it.
I'm with you.
So it was funny because Will's like, what do you look for? You don't need to look for anything. Get costume jewelry, use Google Lens. And this is the final item I want you starting out with, okay? This type of item, holiday items. So this is another one of those things where you can find, you know, Halloween stuff inside of a Goodwill in July and Christmas stuff inside of a Goodwill in July. These are the things I want you looking for because you can find them year round, dirt cheap, tons of them, and you can find the things that are of better quality. Now, if you are going to a place like a Goodwill, it takes more time because you are going to have to look at every item on every shelf. And when you're still first starting out and learning, you're going to be basically Google lensing or looking up online every single thing to see, is this a good designer? Is this good quality? Until you get a feel for it. Some people have a natural feel for it, others don't. But again, like I said, this isn't something you have to be a natural to learn how to do. You can, the more you go out there and do that and just start looking things up, the more you're going to learn and you're just going to retain it over time and you're going to remember. So I want you looking for things like small, high quality ornaments. Why? They're easy to ship. They're small and the profit margin on them can be huge.
Absolutely.
There are so many beautiful blown glass designers that you can, and again, the shipping on these is not bad, you guys. I will do a shipping video, but it's super simple to get even something like a blown Mercury glass ornament in one piece across the country. I do it all the time. These pieces, for instance, aren't even glass, right?
Yeah.
They got wrapped in tissue paper. I think they went in an envelope.
Yeah.
So, but things that look more artisanal, more detailed, higher quality, and I want you looking for ornaments for any holiday because they're small. Halloween masks. Rubberized masks like this, I picked this up for 50 cents at a garage sale.
Yeah.
I am not kidding. Vintage Halloween anything has a market of some kind.
Look how much creepier it was back then.
Yeah, well, and they were made better. The masks keep getting cheaper and cheaper year after year. Anyone who knows Spirit of Halloween could tell you that.
Yeah.
But this piece, there were 4 other ones online for like way too little, like $15 sometimes. They're worth more than that.
They are.
So I put mine at full price, and when the ones that were marked at ridiculously low prices because somebody didn't know what they had online sold, mine was then available and someone purchased it for the correct price. Exactly. So it does happen, you guys, right? It might take a week longer. Here we go again, another type of artisanal doll. So these are Mark Roberts pieces. Not everything has to be an ornament to be valuable. These are small. Usually they come in their original boxes. Insanely easy to ship. Yes. Valuable collector's pieces. Here's a $94 pumpkin doll. Look for dolls. Look for any artisanal doll.
Look for quality.
Quality helps, but, look it up until you get a feel for it. These things are worth money. This, again, was found in someone's garage. I actually ended up with 3 of these over the course of a month somehow last year. So I just don't think people, and one of them came out of a Goodwill bin with its poor little head down, like underneath. I think it was like an air fryer or something. And like I had to move a huge appliance out of the way to get to it. Fitz and Floyd. Now, Fitz and Floyd, I'm not saying always buy these big pieces because they're hard to ship at first. This obviously was well worth that endeavor. But there are smaller Fitz and Floyd pieces for Thanksgiving, for Halloween, for Valentine's Day, for the springtime, for the summertime, and for the winter holiday season. There are so many Fitz and Floyds out there. Mine sell like crazy. They like everything Fitz and Floyd I buy flies. It just flies. And even when it doesn't, if something like, say I have a bunch of inventory for like Thanksgiving pieces, so there's some left for the next year, it'll just sell the next year. So they do really well. You can find them inexpensively. So out of all of the super easy stuff I'm telling you to start your business with, these holiday pieces are probably the most complicated, right? You have to learn a little bit about them. You have to keep an eye out for them. So why am I including them? Because you can still find smaller pieces. The profit margins on them are very, very good. So even though it's a little more complicated, it's still well worth it. And also, I want you using this trick. Buy them at the wrong time of year. Buy them, I've bought some online at the wrong time of year to then resell in my store for 100 times the price. I'm not kidding. So like these, the little Christmas village houses? These do really well at Christmas time. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to find them in June for $4. And then I want you to create a listing for them, not list them yet, wait until before Thanksgiving, around Halloween, and then start listing your Christmas stuff at full price, and it will fly off the shelves. There's never enough of it in my shop every year. I am constantly trying to stay ahead of it. This is a cookie jar. Like not even like a super epic designer piece, okay? And a small one. This isn't something like big cookie jar. This is like not a large piece at all. And I think I spent $2 or $3 on it at a garage sale because it was just some little pumpkin and nobody wanted it anymore. Okay, I'm fine with that. So that's why I'm including this. I'm saying do look for some niche holiday items because they are valuable. They're worth it. They're easy. So like these are wood. Insanely light, insanely easy to ship. Just adorable. I think they were $0.25 each. I'm not kidding. this can be your bread and butter until you make enough money to pay your rent, buy your gas, maybe get yourself some new clothes. Why not, right? Go out for ice cream. That's what I would do. And then put some money back into your business now with all these bread and butter items making you that money. Take the extra $400 that you earned from the ties and then start buying the $40 items, right? That's what I'm saying. And turn those into $400 items. Do that 5 months from now. At the very beginning of this video, I told you guys the truth. I'm making this video for a friend who is in between jobs. I feel like I'm giving away the keys to the kingdom. But this girl is family. She's my family, if you understood. She's my sister from another mister. So I would do anything for her. I will help her in any way I can. And then I was like, why don't I just upload this online for everybody? Because we're constantly making these like learner videos, like guess the value and, you know, refine your appraisal skills. And I have no problem helping people. You guys, this is not a market that's small enough to where you need to be competitive and it's gatekeeping. I'm telling you, this is easy. Anyone can do this. 100,000 more people could do this and I would still be able to do it, and so would you. So I'm just telling you everything I possibly can to make it as, look, more Fitz and Floyd. What do you know? Yeah, I literally, that was $2.50 for both of those. It's like a salt and pepper, or maybe a cream and sugar. I think it's a cream and sugar set. Anyway, I bought it at a garage sale for like $2.50, $50 set. Right. Some of them are more rare than others. You never know with Fitz and Floyd. You never know. So these are just some examples of things, but I'm saying like holiday items, just check them out. Some holiday items are super, super collectible. So it's well worth it. And I really do hope this video helps some people. Maybe gives you the gusto to get out there and start the side hustle. Because here's the other thing, it is a side hustle. This doesn't have to be your full-time job. This is something. Here's some more cute little vintage ornaments. I think I paid $1 to a child for those at like a garage sale. So I put them online. Still made a profit, still netted a profit, but I'm just saying, I just thought they were cute because they were Care Bears. This is something you can do, you know, when you are dropping the kids off at soccer practice, at karate lessons, at, I don't know, patisserie, gourmet, 4-star chef, chocolatier. I don't know what your kids do, but you're taking them somewhere and you, on your way back home or back to the grocery store, you're stopping at garage sales because it's a Saturday, right? Or you have an extra 2 hours in the early morning or the evening before or after work to stop off at the Goodwill or the St. Vincent de Paul. Or you don't have anything to do on a Sunday afternoon, so you're willing to go to the Goodwill bins. Or you're willing to invest all of 2 weekends to hit some estate sales. And in doing that, you hit 10 or 12 estate sales and get 40 or 50 pieces and start your business in the same 3-week period. So this is something you can be doing all the time on the side to just add to your normal income, especially if you work from home, if you have an ailing parent, if you have kids you have to take care of. There's a million reasons. If you're disabled, you can sell things online. You can list things online. So the other parts of the slide, right? We went over forever what I want you to buy. This is the next steps. Now you know what inventory to buy. That was the hard part. Those 5 easy types of items that I just gave you that are the easiest to sell and have high profit margins and are super easy to find, that was the difficult part. Okay, that's done. Now you know what types of stuff to get. You've built your inventory. Now what do? Here comes the easy stuff. Open an online shop. There's like 100 platforms for this, you guys. They are so user-friendly. They are so easy. Jump online. You're going to join Mercari. You're going to join Etsy. You're going to join Poshmark. Pick one. Just pick one. Pick one to start. You can do more later. You can get fancy. You can get software to list on 5 platforms at once. Start with one. Invest nothing. Invest nothing. Let them just get their listing fee off of you or their percentage off of your sales, whatever it is, right? So pick one. Say you choose Etsy. Like we sell on Etsy. We also sell on Mercari. We sell on other platforms. But you're going to choose one, and then you're just going to start listing your inventory. Put it online, okay? Choose your platform. Oh, give yourself a name. Do remember that your name is likely to also become your logo, even if you don't have a logo. It's what people are going to remember you by. So choose something memorable. You know, there's some finer points to that. You can go watch some marketing YouTube videos if you want, but maybe your name's Louis, and you're just like, Huey Louie shop. Fine. It doesn't matter. That's memorable.
Yeah.
Like, whatever it is, it's fine. In this realm of vintage antique items and reselling things, you can call yourself anything.
Yeah.
So do that. If you want, make a logo, fine. Do it later. Doesn't really matter. But you just want to get online, add your inventory, have a name. Simple. Next, photos. Your photos are your income stream. I am not kidding. Okay. Photos equal what you will earn. The better the photo is, the faster the item will sell and the more money you can get for the item. So here's what you want to do. Make sure the item is clean. Make sure it's lit in some way by the sun. If you have no electricity, maybe you are really having a struggle month. I don't know. I'm still telling you, you could walk outside and take sunlit photos with your iPhone and that would still work just fine.
That turned out great.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Or you can be inside in good lighting. Fine. Good contrast. If it's a black item, put it on a white background. If it's a white item, put it on a black background. Again, there's some finer points to this. You can look into those in 3 months when you've made a couple grand. Who cares for now? Put everything on a white background for now, if that's easiest. Go look at my shop. Go to Dead Gentry. See the sort of stuff we sell. See the sort of photos I take. Yeah. This is not something you're going to spend a lot of time on. And you do want that background to be empty. Don't have other stuff going on. Again, you can do prop photos and stuff. Deal with that later. You're just getting started. Next, ship like your life depends on it, okay? Because your bottom line does. That means swiftly, quickly. ASAP, 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 ASAP. That's what I put on the little slide. Isn't that cute? Also a banana, because I like the banana print. So keep in mind that you are competing, I am not kidding, with Jeff Bezos, who is using drones to make sure anyone can have anything they want pretty much as quickly as they think they want it. So that is a little difficult. How do you overcome that? You want to ship quickly. You really do. The second a purchase is made, even if it's a side hustle, you want to say you only have time in the evenings, then you need to be doing it every evening. You really do. Say, it comes in earlier in the day, you can squeeze 15 minutes to swing home for lunch and ship it and get it out that day. Do that, especially when you're starting. The faster you can ship, the quicker you're going to start making good comments, good sales, good reviews, and it's really going to help your bottom line. Also, safe. I'm going to make a shipping video, but I put breakage as burning bills, meaning you're basically setting your wallet on fire if you don't take the time to wrap things correctly.
And people notice. So you got to take the time to package it right to make sure it doesn't break. Even the non-breakable stuff, if you package it in tissue paper and just make it look pretty and presentable, it all helps. It all helps the customer feel appreciated.
That's true. That's true. You only get one chance to make a first impression when somebody opens a box. And people do unboxing videos these days, you guys. So you do have to pay attention to it. Ship like your life depends on it, because it does. So get it there quickly. Get it there in one piece. As Will said, they will remember if it does not arrive in one piece. Absolutely. People are 100 times, actually I think it's like 87 times, more likely to leave a bad review than a positive one, even if they have an overwhelmingly good experience. They're still more likely to leave a negative review on a slightly bad experience than to leave a good review on an overwhelmingly good one. Yeah. So you guys, do not let things break. Also, if things break, you are now out the shipping cost if you offer free shipping. Maybe you don't. But you're out your time. You're out the shipping materials. You're out the piece of inventory that's now gone that you had to go procure. And now you've lost a customer likely as well. Yeah. So this is an important part of your business. It would stabilize because it's not wanting to stabilize. Okay, that last slide wouldn't stretch anymore. I'm not kidding. It was like, please stop. Don't do this to me. So the last point on that slide was succinct. And by that, I mean, I want you to be able to ship things quickly, not just like quickly get them out to your customer and do that quickly. I want you to have a dedicated space and dedicated tools. So just pick one spot, even if you're like someplace small. Maybe you only have like a bedroom in an apartment that you're renting. Fine. That corner of that room is your little shipping area where you keep your supplies, because you want to have some place where as things are selling, you can go to, wrap it, and get it out. Go to, wrap it, get it out, right? And in order to do that, you need to be able to go to the same place over and over again. It should be, kind of clean. I don't know. Maybe you're one of those people that like loves chaos and you just like work really well. Then fine, have a really messy shipping area. I don't care. But I want you to have a dedicated space for it, and I want you to have the tools for it all the time. The boxes, the bubble wrap, the tape, have those things there. That is something you're going to have to invest a teeny bit of money in, not much, but because you do want to have those things as the orders are rolling in, so that you don't have to worry about running out to Staples or ordering more stuff online and waiting for it to get there. You don't want to have to deal with that.
And we talked about this in other videos, but recycle boxes. You don't have to buy.
Oh my gosh, you don't have to buy boxes.
Yeah.
You do not have to buy boxes.
Sure.
Wherever you are, someone has boxes that they are trying to get rid of. Trust me.
Yeah.
Find them, get their boxes. It is so easy to do. You can find them boxes anywhere.
Absolutely.
Anywhere.
And they come in good sizes, because the stuff you get from stores mostly are set sizes.
Yeah.
So a lot of times you need unique sizes or different dimensions.
Yeah. No, that's totally true. Okay, so that's what succinct meant. I want you to just have, a little dedicated fast space that you can do your shipping from. And there you have it, the quick and dirty crash course on how to resell vintage items. Like I said, for my friend and now for everyone else on the internet. I hope it was of some help to some people out there. I will make follow-up videos, more moderate level courses on antiques and shipping, stuff like that. But for now, I hope you just enjoyed the video and that maybe you learned something and that you feel brave enough to go and try to start doing this side hustle for yourself. It really is easy. You really can do it. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe for more. Do it with one hand. This is a little update really quick. This is, you guys, I'm proving that the proof is in the pudding, right? So here, can you hold this adorable little tiny human for me really quick? Okay, so Christmas things, right? I think we had something like 10 of these that I came across in an estate sale this year of Jim Shore Christmas pieces. Our last Santa for the year just sold. They all sold within a matter of weeks, all around the $100 price point. I think I spent $5 on each of them. And again, and so I'm telling you, holiday stuff, right? Especially stuff like Jim Shore does really well. And it's small, it's easy to ship. This is resin that's carved to look like wood. So you pad it with some paper, you put some bubble wrap, put it in a box, and it's safe and sound, right? Not a lot of breakable pieces, very easy to ship. And this is also, look at this, you guys, look at these. Okay, so I literally got all of these today from a Goodwill. I'm not even kidding, you guys. Like, people are like, oh, you can't find this stuff. You can't find any of the stuff you're talking about, right? These are all silk ties that I picked up today. There's Saint Laurent, there's Balenciaga, okay? And again, remember how I said get Disney? I pick up Disney. Why? Because it sells. It always sells at like about 30 plus. So if you can get them for a few dollars, and remember how I said pick up quirky stuff? Look, quirky. Golf Tabasco. It doesn't get more niche than that. This is gonna fly off the shelves. I bet you. So I'm just saying, I really do buy these things for my own shop. They really do well. Like, I'm standing by what I put in the video and trying to prove, like, I think all of these cost me, God, I bought some other stuff. I bought a really great pair of $100 boating shoes for like $10 too when I was there. So maybe $80.
Something like that.
This will probably net me around $1,000 or more, maybe $1,250. So for the ties. And again, this was $5, and I think I did put these pretty low for Christmas because I wanted people to get some deals. Yeah. Jim Shore tends to go for like 100 plus. I think I put these around the $80 price point.
Something like that. Yeah.
Plus free shipping, right? Yeah. So, and again, if anyone out there is going, well, that feels kind of wrong to get something for $1 and sell it for 10, or to get it for $10 and sell it for 100. It isn't. Here's why. First of all, you have to get paid for your time. You have to get, you're not like massively making huge profit margins off of this. No. All said and done, this is a business. You're running a business. Businesses are for profit. However, anywhere else, this piece that someone got for 80 plus free shipping from me because I got such a great deal would be 120 to 150. Okay? And if you go to someplace like replacements.com or someplace that tries to house and store things like this all year, limited collection items from certain artists, same thing with like ties, plates, bowls, vintage, anything. It's all gonna cost twice what I'm charging people. Exactly. So not only am I able to be successful and profitable because, this is what this business does for me, but it's actually an incredible deal for other people too. And then things like vintage Christian Dior ties, don't end up in a dumpster.
Yeah.
They go back into the hands of someone who will truly appreciate it. And at half of the price, like I'll still net a great profit,
Right.
but it'll still be at a massive discount compared to if they were to go to a designer vintage shop online in order to find these items anytime. So I'm just saying, look, I'm not kidding. This is like, there's probably 50 ties on this table, Christmas stuff. It does great. This is what you want to get.